For centuries, the Galactic Empire had ruled the stars with unchallenged power. Its fleets patrolling thousands of star systems and its officials controlling the lives of billions. Yet even in this vast and ordered universe, mysteries from the distant past still lingered, quietly waiting to be uncovered. One such mystery erupted suddenly into the heart of the Empire when, without warning, an ancient Earth spaceship long believed lost to time reappeared near the Empire's capital system. This was no ordinary vessel. It was a relic from humanity's early days of space exploration, a ship thought vanished over 500 years ago during humanity's initial journey into the cosmos. The ship's unexpected arrival sparked immediate alarm and curiosity. To the Empire's leaders and scientists, it was both a threat and a puzzle. The vessel was surrounded by a strange, shimmering blue energy field that pulsed softly against the black backdrop of space, a sight unlike anything recorded in the Empire's vast archives. Sensors struggled to penetrate this energy, and attempts to communicate with the ship met only silence. The Empire's top scientists were called in, their minds racing to understand the technology behind the glowing shield and the ship itself. They had seen many wonders, but nothing like this. It was as if the ship had been lost to time, but carried knowledge far beyond the Empire's current understanding. Mysterious energy field flickered and shifted, sometimes expanding and contracting, as if the ship was alive, breathing in the cold emptiness. Meanwhile, the capital system's inhabitants watched the spectacle with growing unease. Whispers of fear and hope spreading through crowded spaceports and government halls. Speculation ran wild. Was this a sign that humanity's early explorers had uncovered secrets too powerful to remain hidden? Or was it a trap laid by enemies of the Empire? As tensions rose, a small team of specialists was assembled to board the ancient ship. Among them was Dr. Alara Voss, a leading xenotechnologist, whose fascination with Earth's lost history was well known. She felt a mix of excitement and dread as her shuttle approached the vessel. Her instruments unable to fully explain the strange energy field. The air inside the shuttle crackled faintly, as if charged by the same mysterious power. Upon entering the ship, the team found it surprisingly well preserved, its interior showing signs of advanced engineering and design, but different from anything the Empire's engineers had ever seen. The walls glowed faintly with embedded circuits, strange symbols, half technological, half artistic decorated control panels. The ship's atmosphere was stable, as if maintained by an unseen system. As they ventured deeper, the team discovered logs and records in an old form of human language, but heavily encrypted and encoded with unknown algorithms. It was clear the ship's creators had hidden their knowledge. Perhaps fearing discovery or misuse, Dr. Voss worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the ship's core. But each breakthrough only led to more questions. The technology used in the ship's engines and power systems did not match anything in the Empire's databanks, seemed to manipulate space and energy in ways that bordered on the impossible. While the scientists struggled to comprehend the vessel's mysteries, word of its return spread across the Empire like wildfire, stirring political intrigue. Some officials saw an opportunity to seize advanced technology and strengthen the Empire's rule, while others worried about the dangers of such power falling into the wrong hands. There were rumors that rival factions within the Empire were already plotting to claim the ship for themselves, ready to undermine one another in pursuit of its secrets. Outside the ship, the blue energy field continued to glow with a steady rhythm, casting an eerie light across nearby space stations and military outposts. Unmanned drones sent to study the field often lost contact, their signals cut off by unknown interference. Even the Empire's most powerful weapons could not breach or disrupt the energy, deepening the mystery and the sense of vulnerability felt by those who observed it. Citizens across the capital system watched anxiously, their hopes and fears entwined. Some saw the ship's return as a sign that humanity was not lost or forgotten, that the seeds of old Earth still held promise. Others feared what the reappearance might bring: conflict, upheaval, or a challenge to the Empire's dominance. Meanwhile, within the ship's silent corridors, strange lights flickered, and the hum of unseen machinery thrummed softly, as if the ship itself was awakening from a long slumber, ready to reveal secrets that could change the course of history. The tension in the capital system grew thick, a fragile calm before a storm that no one could yet predict. As night fell on distant worlds, and the stars continued to shine cold and distant, the question on everyone's mind remained unanswered. Why had this ancient Earth ship returned now, after centuries of silence? What mysteries did it carry, and what destiny awaited those who dared to uncover its secrets? The Empire waited, watching and preparing, unaware that the ship's reappearance marked the beginning of a new chapter, where the forgotten past might challenge the very foundation of their power. When the Empire's boarding party finally entered the ancient Earth ship, a heavy silence greeted them, broken only by the soft hum of the ship's strange machinery. What no one had expected was the sight that awaited them inside. A small group of humans, awake and alive, who looked as if no time had passed at all. Their skin bore no marks of aging, their eyes clear and alert despite the 5 centuries lost. The crew moved with calm confidence, seemingly undisturbed by the centuries that separated their disappearance from this moment. At the center of this small group stood their captain, a man whose presence commanded respect without a single raised voice or threatening gesture. His face was calm yet unreadable, his dark eyes sharp and full of quiet strength. The impious officers trained to confront threats and enemies found themselves unsure how to respond to these humans, who seemed both familiar and utterly alien. The captain introduced himself simply, offering no false friendliness, but an honest willingness to communicate. He explained that during the long years their ship was missing, Earth had changed in ways the wider galaxy could not imagine. Hidden from all but a select few, humanity had developed advanced technologies designed to protect life and expand knowledge. Technologies so powerful they could shift the balance of power across the stars, as the humans aboard the ship revealed. They had been part of a secret mission and effort to explore the unknown, protect these new advancements, and keep them safe from forces that might misuse them. Their disappearance was no accident, but a deliberate choice to hide and wait for the right moment to return. This moment had come, but not without risks. Captain warned the Empire that this technology, if abused or seized without respect, could unravel the Empire's control, breaking the chains that kept so many systems under its rule. He did not threaten, but made clear that the humans would not allow their discoveries to be exploited for oppression. Instead, he offered a chance, cooperation based on mutual respect. If the Empire was willing to learn and grow alongside humanity's legacy, there could be peace and progress. But if it chose greed and domination, the consequences would be dire for all. The tension in the room was palpable as Empire officers exchanged uneasy glances, their minds racing with the implications. For some, the captain's words were a call to hope, a chance to move beyond the endless wars and control that had defined the Empire for centuries. For others, they were a warning that their grip on power was slipping and the future was uncertain. The humans showed the boarding party their technology in small, controlled demonstrations. Devices that could generate clean energy endlessly, systems that healed biological wounds in moments, and engines that bent space to allow instant travel between distant points. The Empire's scientists observed in stunned silence, realizing that their own knowledge was limited in comparison. Yet despite the wonder and possibility, questions remained. How had these humans survived unchanged for so long? What had kept them hidden, and why reveal themselves now? The captain's calm demeanor never faltered as he answered these questions carefully. Their ship was equipped with advanced systems that slowed aging and preserved life, allowing the crew to endure centuries in stasis while their minds remained active. They had waited for a time when humanity's true potential could be shared without fear. The Empire's leaders debated fiercely as news of the humans aboard spread. Some advocated for partnership, believing this technology could help the Empire thrive. Others saw the humans as a threat to be contained or destroyed. The atmosphere grew thick with suspicion, and secret plans were whispered in shadowed halls. Meanwhile, the humans aboard the ship worked quietly, preparing to share what they could while guarding their deepest secrets. They understood the danger of their knowledge falling into the wrong hands but hoped the Empire could change, that it could become a force for good rather than control. As the days passed, small acts of trust began to build between the humans. And some members of the Empire's team, Dr. Alara Voss, the xenotechnologist from the boarding party, found herself drawn to the captain's vision, fascinated by the potential for a new future. Yet she also sensed the fragile line they all walked, aware that any misstep could ignite conflict. The ancient ship, with its glowing blue energy and timeless crew, had become a symbol of possibility and uncertainty. The galaxy watched and waited, caught between the past and a future that only these humans and the Empire could shape together or tear apart. In the quiet moments, beneath the hum of machinery and the distant stars beyond, the question lingered: would this meeting mark the beginning of a new era of peace and discovery, or the spark of a battle that could change everything? The answer remained hidden in the hearts and choices of those aboard the ship, where time seemed to stand still and the fate of countless worlds hung in the balance. After the initial shock of discovering the humans aboard the ancient Earth ship, the Galactic Empire's top engineers and scientists were granted full access to the vessel, eager to unravel its secrets. What they found challenged everything they thought they knew about technology and physics. The ship's power sources were unlike any conventional energy systems used in the Empire. They appeared endless, drawing on a form of energy that was both clean and infinite. The engineers marveled as the ship's core seemed to generate power, not from fuel, but from manipulating the very fabric of space itself. It was as though the ship had tapped into an energy well beyond the stars, a force so subtle and strong it could sustain the vessel indefinitely without refueling or maintenance. The concept alone was revolutionary, and it threatened to make obsolete the Empire's entire fleet and infrastructure. But the surprises didn't end there. The ship's propulsion system seemed to bend space and time, allowing faster-than-light travel by warping the space around it instead of simply moving through it. This method created shortcuts through the universe, reducing travel time across light years to moments. The Empire's existing technology relied on jump gates or slower warp drives, making the Earth ship's capabilities almost magical by comparison. The engineers realized that such technology would make the Empire's borders meaningless, enabling ships to move freely and unpredictably across the galaxy. This insight sent ripples of unease through the military command. Others gained access to such travel. The Empire's control over its vast territory could collapse overnight. Even more striking was the ship's artificial intelligence system. Unlike the cold, logical AI models the Empire used, this system displayed an almost human intuition and creativity. It could learn from experience, adapt to new situations instantly, and even make decisions that seemed guided by ethics or emotion. The AI was integrated deeply into the ship's operations, communicating silently with the crew and managing the complex systems flawlessly. This intelligence hinted at a future where machines could be partners, not just tools, raising questions about consciousness and control that the Empire's leaders had never fully considered. As reports of these findings circulated, debates erupted within the Empire's government. The ruling council was split. One faction argued for immediate confiscation and reverse engineering of the ship's technology. They believed the Empire should seize this power at all costs to reinforce its dominance. Another faction urged caution, warning that reckless use or misunderstanding of this advanced technology could backfire catastrophically. They suggested that collaboration with the humans aboard might offer a safer path to integrate these discoveries responsibly. This division created a tense atmosphere, with secret meetings and whispered alliances forming behind closed doors. The more conservative members feared the humans' influence would weaken the Empire's authority, while others saw an opportunity to transform the galaxy into a more peaceful and prosperous place. Meanwhile, some within the military grew suspicious of the humans' intentions, worried that their advanced knowledge might be used to spark rebellion or inspire resistance among the Empire's many subject worlds. Intelligence reports hinted that several colonies were already quietly reaching out to the humans, drawn by the hope of new technology and freedom. The possibility of losing control over these distant systems added urgency to the debates. Even as the political factions argued, The engineers continued their painstaking work. Peeling back layer after layer of the ship's design, they discovered that the power source operated by manipulating quantum fields, a concept barely understood by the Empire's science. This manipulation created stable energy loops that fed the ship's systems indefinitely, without waste. The propulsion technology relied on localized space-time distortions that made distances shrink and vanish, essentially folding the galaxy like paper to connect to distant points instantly. The AI, named Athena by the humans, was built on neural networks that mimicked the human brain but far surpassed it in speed and complexity. Athena communicated through subtle pulses of light and sound within the ship, constantly learning and evolving. The Empire's experts were both amazed and intimidated by this intelligence, unsure if it could ever be controlled or replicated. The discovery of these secrets only deepened the mystery of how Earth's humans had achieved such advancements centuries ago, why they had kept it hidden for so long. What threats or dangers had driven them into isolation? As tensions mounted, the captain of the human crew maintained a calm, steady presence, emphasizing the need for respect and understanding. He explained that the technology was designed not for conquest, but for protection and progress. The humans had witnessed the destruction wrought by unchecked power and sought to prevent such suffering from spreading. Yet, his warnings about the dangers of misuse were clear. The Empire's leaders faced a difficult choice: seize the technology by force and risk chaos, or accept cooperation and possibly redefine the future of the galaxy. As the debates raged on, subtle shifts began to take place within the Empire. Some scientists quietly worked with the humans, sharing knowledge and ideas. Others plotted in secret, preparing to undermine any agreement. The ancient Earth ship, glowing softly with its blue energy field, stood as a symbol of both hope and danger. Across the stars, eyes watched the unfolding drama with bated breath. The Empire's dominance hung by a thread, and the secrets unveiled. Aboard that ship might be the key to a new ERO, the spark that ignited a conflict far greater than anyone imagined. Tensions inside the Galactic Empire had been rising steadily as factions debated the fate of the ancient Earth ship and the humans aboard it. But these tensions exploded suddenly when a radical faction within the Empire's military, impatient and distrustful of diplomacy, decided to take matters into their own hands. Believing that the advanced technology aboard the human vessel was too dangerous to be negotiated over, this faction launched a surprise attack in orbit around the capital system, their warships surging toward the ship with weapons primed and ready to fire. The humans, caught off guard, but not unprepared, responded swiftly. Using their advanced technology, they activated the ship's defense systems, which emitted powerful electromagnetic pulses that disabled the attacking ship's weapon systems without causing destruction. The silence that followed was heavy and charged, the vast emptiness of space, filled only by the crackling hum of the blue energy shield surrounding the human ship. The Empire's commanders, stunned by the humans' ability to neutralize their most powerful weapons effortlessly, called for an immediate ceasefire. The radicals were forced to stand down. But the attack had shattered any remaining trust between the humans and the Empire's military factions. In the tense aftermath, humans aboard the ship took the opportunity to speak openly for the first time since the conflict began. Their captain, calm but firm, revealed the true purpose behind their return and the secrets they guarded. They were not simply relics of the past seeking to reclaim lost technology. Their mission was far greater. Throughout the galaxy, many more Earth ships like this one had been scattered during humanity's early exploration efforts centuries ago, each carrying unique technologies and crews preserved in stasis. These ships had been hidden, waiting for the right moment to awaken and reunite. The humans believed that together, these lost vessels and their crews could form a powerful coalition, a force capable of challenging the Empire's oppressive rule and bringing freedom to countless star systems shackled by imperial control. This revelation sent shockwaves through the Empire's leadership. What had seemed like an isolated incident was now part of a much larger, more dangerous picture. The humans' plan was no secret rebellion. It was a calculated effort to restore balance to the galaxy and dismantle the Empire's dominance from within. Yet the humans emphasized that their approach was not one of blind warfare or destruction. They sought allies and cooperation from those who yearned for change, but wanted peace and justice, rather than endless conflict. The captain's words carried weight, reminding the Empire that power used without respect and wisdom could only lead to ruin. As the political factions scrambled to respond, some governors and military leaders quietly began to reconsider their positions. The realization that the humans might succeed in awakening other lost ships was both terrifying and intriguing. If even a handful of these vessels joined the coalition, the military advantage of the Empire could be drastically weakened. Reports arrived of secret transmissions between the human crew and distant colonies, messages filled with hope and the promise of a new future. Resistance movements that had long operated in the shadows found renewed courage. The Empire's grip, once thought unbreakable, showed signs of strain. Meanwhile, the humans worked tirelessly to repair and prepare their ship for the mission ahead. They calibrated their systems to detect the unique energy signatures of the other lost Earth ships scattered across the galaxy, ready to awaken them one by one. Their hope was to unite not only with technology, but with the ideals that had once driven humanity's earliest explorers: curiosity, courage, and the desire for freedom. However, the Empire's radicals were not defeated. Bitter and humiliated, they began plotting behind closed doors, seeking allies willing to seize the technology by any means necessary. Even if it meant plunging the galaxy into war, their growing aggression added a dangerous urgency to the fragile peace. In the capital system, citizens watched the unfolding events with a mixture of fear and hope. Some saw the humans as heroes returning to save a galaxy trapped in tyranny. Others feared that the coming conflict would bring devastation to worlds far from the capital's safety. The future was uncertain, a fragile balance between the possibility of a new dawn and the threat of destruction. As the human ship prepared to set out on its new mission, the captain stood on the bridge, looking out into the vast darkness dotted with stars. Each distant light represented a lost Earth ship waiting to be found, each a piece of a puzzle that could change everything. The blue energy field around the ship glowed brighter, a beacon of hope and warning. The rising threat within the Empire was real, but so was the promise of freedom and unity. The battle for the galaxy's future was no longer just a matter of politics or power. It had become a struggle for the soul of countless worlds. And humanity, once thought lost to time, had returned to remind everyone that even in the darkest moments, hope and courage could light the way forward. As the blue light of the ancient Earthship spread across the stars, the galaxy began to change, in ways no one could have predicted. The Empire, once unchallenged and powerful, felt its hold slipping as more lost Earthcraft emerged from the depths of space, each bringing new wonders and advanced technologies that defied the Empire's understanding. These ships were not simply machines, but symbols of hope, each crew awakened from centuries of slumber and ready to join a cause far greater than themselves. The humans who had returned first became leaders and symbols of a growing movement, inspiring oppressed worlds to stand up and reclaim their own destinies. Across countless systems, news spread quickly, stories of ships appearing in distant orbits, technologies that healed the sick, machines that created clean energy, and engines that bent space to bring far-off places near. The oppressed, long, burdened by imperial rule and endless demands, began to see a future where they could decide their own paths. Alliances shifted rapidly. Some Empire governors, seeing the tides turning, chose to join the movement rather than fight a losing battle. Secret networks of resistance grew bolder, supported now by the power and wisdom of the awakened humans and their ships. Yet, the transition was not without struggle. The Empire's remaining hardliners fought fiercely to maintain control, unleashing military force to try and crush rebellion and retake the powerful technologies. Battles raged in space and on countless worlds, but the spirit of the new movement proved stronger. The humans led with a vision that went beyond war. They preached unity, courage, and respect for life and freedom. Their technology was used, not to dominate, but to uplift, healing wounds caused by centuries of conflict and oppression. This new era was marked by collaboration between species and systems that had never worked together before. Scientists and engineers from different worlds shared knowledge freely, unlocking mysteries of the universe that had been hidden or forbidden under the Empire's rule. Among the stars, the Coalition built new fleets, not for conquest, but to protect and explore, to connect worlds once separated by fear and control. The captain of the original Earth ship, once a figure of mystery and caution, became a symbol of this new dawn. His calm wisdom and steadfast belief in humanity's potential gave hope to millions. He reminded all that while technology was powerful, it was courage and unity that truly shaped the future. The galaxy, long divided and shadowed by fear, slowly began to heal. Old wounds from wars and oppression were not forgotten, but they were met with forgiveness and determination to build something better. The humans, once lost to time, stood not as relics of a forgotten past, but as beacons of light guiding countless species toward a shared destiny. The Empire, once thought invincible, now faced a choice: adapt and join this new future, or resist and face collapse. Many within its ranks chose change, recognizing that the galaxy's strength came from its diversity and cooperation. The final days of Imperial rule were marked not by total defeat, but by transformation. The stars above no longer belonged to one power, but to all who dared to dream of peace and progress. As the ancient Earth ships continued their journey, awakening allies and inspiring hope, the galaxy moved toward a horizon filled with promise. New worlds were discovered, old conflicts resolved, and the spirit of exploration rekindled in every corner of space. Humanity's return had not been an end, but a beginning, the start of a new chapter where technology, courage, and unity could redefine what it meant to be free. And in the vast, shining expanse of the galaxy, this new dawn lit the way for all who believed in a better tomorrow.